G'day, everybody. This is my 2017 World Championship win against Jesper Svensson in Reno, Nevada. So this particular week was a massive grind, 60-something games to get to the show, 4 patterns, and Jesper being the top seed chose this pattern, which is the Scorpion, and we're using reactive for later in the block of a Scorpion, but on the fresh, we typically used urethane a lot. And in this show, we had 3 lefties, Jesper, Ryan Simonelli, and who was it? Matt Sanders was the third, and then there was Kyle Troop and myself. So, being that there was only 2 right-handers on the show, Kyle was another guy that was going to use urethane. I thought, well, maybe we can both use urethane, maybe create a little hold and help each other out. And that was the hope. Knowing that I had to play against this guy, though, and Jesper's typical track record on television is usually pretty good, I knew that I was going to have to bowl a pretty good game. So seeing that first open frame for him was nice to see because it was unexpected. But he also has this knack of, opening frame 1 and shooting 279. So you can't get too happy. You've still got to, focus on what's going on, making sure you make your best shots. It's pretty cool to watch how his ball goes through the pins. Just blows them up.
Jesper Svensson has got tattoos going up and down his left arm. Jason Belmonte, this guy is so recognizable, his passport doesn't even need a picture.
I love that hilarious Randyism. So the difference between the right and the left lane, I had a way more comfortable, consistent, nice shape to my urethane ball on the left lane. The right lane started to get a little bit lazy down the lane, which meant that the ball, it just wasn't starting up in the right part of the lane. But if I moved too far to the right to try and get it to start up, there was a lot of friction there. So I was always paranoid about the ball hooking super early if I moved right on the right lane. But the left lane, I had really nice shape. I can miss it a little left, I can miss it a little right, and the ball would either hold or roll up nice. And it had nice carry on that lane.
So here's what's happened in prior World Series shows. I hope you had a chance to see Liz Johnson become the second woman ever to win on the PBA Tour. The rookie, or the television rookie, Richie Teese, and then Svensson and Cheetah, and Tackett and the Scorpion. No words. No words.
Yeah.
Kimberly Pressler is standing by. Kimberly.
Thanks, guys. I'm joined by Ryan Simonelli. So, Ryan, your reaction at the end of that roll-off spoke volumes, but you also said, I thought it was good. So what happened?
Yeah, we actually checked the shot tracker, and rev rate was on, ball speed was on. It was .4 boards right. I would throw that shot 100 more times. I can't believe it didn't hook.
Thank you so much for taking the time and speaking.
So that shot there was in the 1-ball roll-off after Ryan and I tied that game. And from the angle that I was sitting at, it was really hard to see his release, but you can generally get a feel of what a player thinks and feels of their own shot by watching their animation or the way that they come out of the shot. And when he let it go, he was extremely confident that that was going to strike. So to see it not strike, based off his reaction of how he threw it, I was surprised as well.
Boy, take a picture of that. That's almost like a Bigfoot sighting when you see Jason Belmonte leave a soft 10.
I mean, Randy, it was soft, but not like super soft. I mean, it had a chance to come off the wall. I've seen Randy leave softer 10 pins.
So Belmo in qualifying, not perfect on these 10 pin.
I missed all 4 10 pin spares on the cheetah, where the middle of the lane was really flat. And I missed all 4 of them in the first 3 games. You can believe me, I was on tilt on the 4th one. So the positive was I made the rest of them for the other, 56 games, which I'm proud of.
Here he is in the title match.
So you can see the grip on my finger still. The grip came out. Actually, Jeff, pause the video. I want to tell an anecdote really quickly. So that grip was basically coming out after the Simonelli match. And I spoke to my ball rep, Timmy Mack. I said, hey, Timmy, we're going to need a new grip, I think. And Timmy said, mate, it's just got to last one more game. And I said, yeah, you're right. 10 shots. It's lasted this long. It can last 10 more shots. And unfortunately, it only got through to 5. So you can play the video now, Jeff. So when I go back to Timmy, one of the jokes that I tell him was, well, it only lasted 5. You told me it was going to last 10. You're a terrible ball rep. So I said, fix it. And he did. So Timmy was able to put the exact same grip. And I must tell you, it felt very awkward. It felt like the grip was going to come back out again. Because I guess it lost a little bit of rubber, so it didn't sit in the hole flush. And it was something that you didn't want to have to deal with when you turn around and you see Jesper shaping the ball that he was, the way that he was, and the way that his ball was going through the pins. You're like, man, this guy's, he's going to probably strike out. I'm going to have to as well. And now I have this grip issue to deal with.
Through 5 for the championship.
But I was just fortunate to have struck on that 5th frame with the grip still attached to my finger. And now I'm just hoping for Jesper to slow down a little bit.
It's as if he took a knife and just chopped them in half like you're slicing open a cantaloupe or a grapefruit.
I just love the demeanor, the attitude, the personality after throwing this. It's just the polar opposite of what his bowling ball does when it goes through the pins. Just so casual. All right, there's another strike. Now, that's externally. Internally, this guy's jacked up as much as anyone.
So I'm on my least favorite lane just after the grip gets plugged in, and I really felt like that shot, I missed it at the bottom. I was really happy with where I was able to throw it. I just did not hit it nearly as hard as I needed to. And I felt like that was just a hesitation because I was freaking out if this grip was going to pop out. But then after the first shot and realized it didn't, that fear went away immediately. So I was pretty confident on the spare. But, now I look up at the scoreboard a little bit and I'm like, all right, well, now I'm down in the match. I'm going to have to get a little help and I'm going to have to bowl some pretty good shots here. So I come back to my favorite left lane. And the only thought that I have at this, junction in the game, especially on this lane, is keep my hand behind the ball. If it rolls early and I miss it right, I can still have a chance. If I get it in, it'll shape really nicely. Or if I hit my target just like I did then, it'll shape and go high flush. So on the Opposite lane, however, I needed to get my hand just a little bit more around it because I needed to see a little bit more shape at the end of the pattern because whether it be topography or the way the lane broke down, I'm not entirely sure, but every single time I kind of got behind it, it never made it up the hill. So I needed to help it. I was a lot more comfortable throwing with my hand directly behind it, really tumbling it, making the ball roll. Like a urethane ball likes to be thrown. It likes to be thrown with a lot of forward rotation, heavy RPM. Most urethanes don't like, when you have to get your hand around it and curve it. And that's why when you watch Jesper bowl and you watch where his hand position is, it's very rare that you see him put a lot of side rotation on his ball. He's just hits it as hard as he can and gets his hand all the way through it. But that 6-pin was certainly a relief. Stopped the string. And now what he's seen, which I was hoping for, is a little transition from having multiple lefties on the show. We had Matt Sanders, like I mentioned earlier, throwing a little urethane. We had Ryan Simonelli throwing a little reactive. And now Jesper's ball is just seeing a little early hook, which might create a little doubt.
So Belmo down by only 8 pins here in the 8th frame. You see his place in history is secure already. At 34, he's ahead of everybody. 8 majors, all beginning at 38.
Before this show, I was unaware of that particular stat. I don't know why, but I thought that Pete and Earl had 11. So I didn't realize I was 2 away until after the show, and I think Kimberly talks to me about winning 3 in a season, which I didn't know either. I didn't know that had never been done, and that I was only now 1 away from the leaders. It's pretty crazy. I still can't believe it. So there's a perfect example of getting the ball, getting my hand behind the ball too much. It won't get up that hill. So the idea was to get my hand around a little bit, to see it, to kind of drive back towards the pins. The only other option would be to maybe move in slightly, keep my hand behind the ball, creating that forward momentum, but slowing my speed, which was a possibility, but I didn't really know what I wanted to do. All I knew was right now I have to strike here to at least make Jesper think, I have 230 off the sheet. Yeah, I did. I really loved that left lane. So I actually got my hand just a little bit more around it, but that left lane was really forgiving. It just shaped so consistently. And I wish I could have bowled all 10 shots on that one lane.
He will be Hall of Fame eligible.
At 22.
8 titles, 2 majors.
Isn't that something? Very light, and a 5 left behind.
So my reaction to seeing him leave that 5-pin was like I was expecting that. After going 6-pin, 6-pin, I thought, okay, he's probably going to move in off of those shots. And I'm just wondering now if he's going to see a little Matt Sanders urethane carry down, or if he's going to see some early hook again from Simonelli's reactive. He might throw it a little further to the left, hoping to get away from it all, and that's exactly what I saw. Is he hit it with everything he had, but he got it going away a little towards the gutter a little too much, and it just didn't have enough time to get back to the pocket. So now I know mathematically I can't be shut out. Obviously, I'm going back to my least favorite lane. So I'm hoping, I don't have to get up there and get 3 strikes.
Oh, my heavens. I thought that was a good-looking shot. And he leaves a very quiet 7-pin with a 4 resting on it. So he won't get that 236.
Well, it looks like the lanes and the oil pattern have pushed him a little bit farther in than he wanted to be, and that affected the pin carry on that shot. And
Would you say, Randy, he left a flat or soft 7?
weak 7.
Didn't mention it for him. You tease me, you didn't tease Jesper.
We'll take care of it there.
Belmonte needs the first hit and counts.
So at this point, any professional that tells you they're not nervous ever when they bowl for these moments is lying. I'm petrified right now, but I'm really excited to be in this position. There's a difference, I believe, between fearing a moment and accepting that it is a big moment. You are nervous, but embracing it. And I think later in my career, I've leaned way more towards embracing it and wanting the moment to happen, but also not been scared of failure. I had my one thought in my head, again, was you're going to hit your target, but just get your hand in the right spot. The last 3 shots in that lane, they weren't in the right spot. You've got 1 shot right now to make it count. So I didn't move. I stood in the exact same spot and just trusted that I was going to throw it great.
He had to have it, and he got it.
And that was one of the coolest shots that I've ever thrown in my life.
Not over yet. He needs 9.
This next one might be
And if he doesn't,
better,
he gets 8.
but that was a pretty cool shot. Especially considering I had very little confidence in ball reaction on that lane, knowing that it had to be absolutely perfect off my hand for it to even read the pocket and then to get that pin carry. Yeah, really cool. But it wasn't over. I mean, I was very calm. I was collected. I knew I needed to get my 7 spare or more. And then it all comes flooding out when you realize you did it. Another reason why that was a really emotional time, besides the fact that, I'd won a 3rd major that year. I had won the Player of the Year now. I got a really nice message from EJ Tackett straight after this show. And he was the other player in the running for the Player of the Year. And he said, "You've got my vote after that performance." I couldn't be to a more deserving person. So I still got that tweet, that text from EJ in case he ever starts to be mean to me. I'll bring it back out and tell him, "Hey, you were once nice to me." But the other reason why I really love that show is because the day before that filming, I came down with a bout of food poisoning and wasn't even sure if I was going to make the show. So to be able to find whatever energy I had and put it into a 256 tie against Ryan Simonelli, win that roll-off, and then to play, Jesper Svensson, who'd chosen the oil pattern, who was bowling incredible, needing a strike, essentially 2 strikes for sure to shut him out for the title, was a really internal emotional experience for me. So I hope that I get another opportunity to feel that type of emotion again, because it was certainly unique. Anyway, that was the 2017 World Championships and my victory there. Thanks for watching.